The 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W30 takes the 10th spot on the list of fastest muscle cars of 1971, and notably, this is the only entry from Oldsmobile to make it onto the top 10 list. Under the hood, the 455 CI-V8 engine advertised 350 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, providing a respectable level of power. According to Supercar magazine, the 442 W30 completed the quarter mile in 13.90 seconds, reaching a speed of 101 miles per hour. In total, only 920 units of the 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W30 were produced, adding to the model's rarity and exclusivity. Of these, 810 were hardtops, while the remaining 110 were convertible models. Securing the 9th spot on the list is the 1971 Dodge Challenger RT 446 pack. Powered by a 440 cubic inch V8 engine, this car advertised 385 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, providing an impressive level of power. According to Supercar magazine's 1971 annual, the Challenger RT completed the quarter mile in 13.75 seconds, reaching a top speed of 104 miles per hour. In total, only 246 units of the 1971 Dodge Challenger RT were powered by the 446 pack option. Of these, 127 were fitted with a 4-speed manual transmission, while the remaining 119 came with a 3-speed automatic transmission. The 1971 Dodge Charger Super B, powered by the legendary 426 Hemi engine, takes the 8th spot on the list. The 426 Hemi V8 engine with dual 4-barrel carburetors generated an impressive 390 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. In the December 1971 issue of Motor Trend magazine, the Charger Super B completed the quarter mile in 13.73 seconds, reaching a top speed of 104 miles per hour. In total, only 22 units of the 1971 Dodge Charger Super B were powered by the 426 Hemi engine option, adding to the model's rarity and exclusivity. Of these, 9 were equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, while the remaining 13 came with a 3-speed automatic transmission. Securing 7th place on the list of fastest of 1971 is the Plymouth Cuda. Under the hood, the 426 cubic inch V8 engine produced 385 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, providing an impressive level of power. According to the April 1971 issue of Superstock and Drag Illustrated, the Cuda completed the quarter mile in 13.72 seconds, achieving a speed of 106 miles per hour. In total, only 17 units of the 1971 Plymouth Cuda were produced, adding to its exclusivity and desirability among collectors and enthusiasts. Of these, 5 were equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, while the remaining 12 came with a 3-speed automatic transmission. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner with the 446 pack option secures 6th place. Equipped with a 440 cubic inch V8 engine with 3 two-barrel carburetors, this car generated 385 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, providing an impressive level of power. In the January 1971 issue of CarCraft magazine, the 440+6 Roadrunner completed the quarter mile in 13.71 seconds, reaching a speed of 101.2 miles per hour. In total, only 246 units of the 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner were powered by the 446 pack option. Of these, 62 had a 4-speed manual transmission, while the remaining 109 had a 3-speed automatic transmission. In fifth place on the list is the 1971 Pontiac Trans Am 455 high output, which is the only Pontiac model to make it onto the top 10 list. Powered by a potent 455 cubic inch V8 engine, this car advertised an impressive 335 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. According to the 1971 Supercar Annual, the Trans Am 455 HO completed the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds with a top speed of 104 miles per hour. In total, 2,166 units of the 1971 Pontiac Trans Am were produced. Of these, 885 were equipped with a 4-speed manual transmission, while the remaining 1,281 had an automatic transmission. The 1971 Ford Mustang Boss 351 takes fourth place. Equipped with a powerful Boss 351 engine, this Mustang generated 330 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque, providing an impressive level of power. The 1971 Supercar Annual by Supercar magazine reported that the Boss 351 completed the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at a speed of 103 miles per hour. Of the 1,806 1971 Ford Mustang Boss 351s produced, all were sports roof models with a 4-speed manual transmission. This makes the Boss 351 a highly sought-after muscle car among collectors and enthusiasts.
Cartoon characters are supposed to be silly, but this black Hemi Roadrunner is not messing around.
The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner is in third place, powered by a mighty Hemi engine. The 426 Hemi engine of the Roadrunner was a force to be reckoned with, producing a staggering 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. The 1971 Supercar Annual, published by Supercar magazine, recorded the Roadrunner's quarter-mile time at 13.5 seconds, with a top speed of 106.5 miles per hour. In total, only 55 units of the 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner were powered by the legendary 426 Hemi engine. Of the 55 produced, 28 came equipped with a 4-speed transmission, while the remaining 27 were fitted with a 3-speed automatic transmission. This scarcity only adds to the desirability and collectability of this iconic muscle car. In second place is the Ford Mustang Mach-1, equipped with a powerful 429 Super Cobra jet engine. The 429 Super Cobra jet engine in the Mach-1 produced 375 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque, providing a remarkable amount of power. The 1971 Supercar Annual reported that the Mustang Mach-1 completed the quarter mile in just 13.4 seconds, achieving a speed of 105 miles per hour. In total, only 531 units of the 1971 Mach-1 429 SCJ were produced. The title of the fastest muscle car of 1971 belongs to the 1971 Ford Torino Cobra, which boasted a mighty 429 Super Cobra jet engine. Under the hood, the 429 CI-V8 engine churned out an impressive 375 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. The 1971 Supercar Annual reported that the Torino Cobra blazed down the quarter-mile track in just 13.30 seconds, reaching a speed of 106 miles per hour. In total, 3,054 Torino Cobras were produced in 1971, adding to the model's exclusivity and desirability among car collectors and enthusiasts.
Number 10, Mustang McLaren M81. Long before McLaren partnered with Mercedes to create the iconic McLaren Mercedes SLR, McLaren partnered with Ford in 1980 to create a Mustang that would revitalize the model line after the disappointing Mustang II of the 1970s. With only 249 made, this Mustang was powered by a hand-built McLaren turbo engine that made a 175 horsepower. Number 9, Torino Talladega. Named after the famous Talladega Speedway, this Ford was an improved, more aerodynamic version of the Torino and Fairlane Cobra, made to compete in NASCAR racing. Accomplishing what it set out to do by winning 29 races between 1969 and 1970, this champion race car was later made available to the public with a limited run production of 500 units. Number 8, Ford Fairlane 500R Code. One of the rarest Fords because of the minuscule 57-unit production, the Fairlane 500R was a product of the arms race between car manufacturers to build the most powerful and fastest muscle cars of that period. Equipped with a V8 engine that produced a then-huge 425 horsepower, this car was among the speed kings of the 60s. Number 7, GT40 Mk3. A unique version of the mighty GT40 is its road-going cousin, the Mark III. A truly rare car with only 7 examples built, this street derivative had a detuned 4.7-liter engine that made a still powerful 306 horsepower. In a twist of marketing irony, this car was not as popular as Ford hoped, as its more formal and road-use look caused potential buyers to opt for the original Mk1 in its racing livery instead. Number 6, 1974 Ford Capri RS 3100. A popular model in the Ford Fastback and Coupe range, the Ford Capri was launched in 1968 to a responsive market. Capitalizing on this success, Ford in less than 5 years followed up with similar formula with the release of its successor in 1974. In 1973, production of the Capri ended in Australia. This then necessitated 50 units being imported by Ford Australia, making the Capri RS 3100 a rare Ford to find in the market. Number 5, Ford Thunderbird Bond Edition. Strange as James Bond never drove this Thunderbird in the movie, Ford produced a James Bond edition of the Thunderbird to commemorate its presence in the movie Die Another Day. Priced at $43,000 when it was released, this pricey Ford came in a coral red special edition paint scheme that took inspiration from the bikini that secondary character Jinx wore in the film. Number 4, Ford GT40 Prototype. As the first Ford car to be called the Ford GT, this prototype, only 2 were made, helped pave the way for its successor, the legendary Ford GT40, in its path to Le Mans domination. Born from the now infamous Ferrari snub of Ford's attempt to purchase them, Ford then partnered with Lola Cars to develop their own race car that resulted in this amazing prototype that, despite being developed in short order, managed to perform to the expectation it was set to by Henry Ford II himself. Number 3. Ford RS 200. Made by Ford to compete in the competitive world of Group B rally racing, the Ford RS 200 was a small and powerful mid-engine sports car that had 2 distinct versions: a street-legal car with 250 horsepower and a racing version producing 450 horsepower. Perhaps too powerful for its own good, the rally governing body took note of the several accidents in Group B that the RS 200 and other cars were involved in, and soon abolished this tier, rendering this rare 200 unit only Ford obsolete. Number 2. Ford XC Cobra. With a production run of just 400 units, this non-Mustang Ford, which is also a legendary muscle car, is called the Falcon XC Cobra, a performance car built by Ford Australia that came with a 5.0-liter V8 engine. As with Ford tradition, this muscle car was available in the Ford Racing White with the 2 center blue stripes livery. Number 1. Ford GTX-1. A special edition version of the already astounding Ford GT, the Ford GTX-1 Roadster had only 100 units made. First unveiled to the public in the 2005 SEMA show, the GTX took inspiration from the original open-top Ford GT. With the option to remove its targa top, this GT transformed into a sleek roadster that was the reason for the strong demand it received.